Hello everybody and welcome to Anarchy in the Ukulele with me, Paul Mansell. Today I'm going to be reviewing this Pono AB Baritone Ukulele, which I've seen currently on offer at about £350. So it's coming in fairly cheap for a Pono at the moment. It's I've seen it reduced from about £450. So let's start by having a little listen to it, shall we? There you go, another beautiful, well balanced piece of equipment. So what we've got here, the Pono, they're actually made by Koalau, one of the Hawaiian countries, but so they're manufactured in Asia, but under the umbrella of Koalau. This is all solid acacia. Acacia wood is pretty interesting anyway, because ukuleles, original Hawaiian ukuleles, were all made of koa wood, and koa is part of the acacia family. So this is sort of quite a traditional instrument in some ways. We've got an ebony fingerboard and bridge, and then we've got a 35mm nut, and the scale on this is 512mm. It's got a mahogany neck, bone, nut and saddle, and it's got a satin finish. A lot of people think when we refer to these as barries, they think that we're calling them a barry because they're baritones, but it's actually because Barry Manilow invented the barry. Not a lot of people know that, but there you go. The first time I actually encountered a Pono was Tony Mizzen plays them, and Tony and I were recording an album for a book that we did, and Tony was playing one, and I had a go on it, and I was really impressed with it. And I kind of remember thinking at the time that if a Pono is good enough for Tony, it's good enough for most people, as he's a brilliant player. They're sort of ukuleles that, when you initially look at them, they don't sort of sing and dance, do they? You know, there's a lot of ukuleles out there at the moment that are really sort of pushing forward the image. If you compare this to a flight ukulele, it's sort of quite sort of, its looks are very less, it doesn't sort of sing and dance and grab your attention compared to some of the sort of green and blue flights that are out there. So it's quite a traditional looking instrument. The rosette here is sort of simple but quite classy. There's no sort of particularly elegant binding going on. It's just a nice looking ukulele. Silver tuners, you know, nothing gold or fancy there. Just a nice looking uke. I like it because it's very traditional. The finish on it is immaculate, I must say. You know, all of the frets are really, really well finished. The body, there's just no blemishes on it. It's extremely well finished and got a real quality feel to it. I've changed the strings on this, so I've put Aquilas on. With baritone ukes, they tend to put two metal wound strings on the bottom too, so it's tuned DGBE. and the D and the G are metal wound, and that gives it a real sort of bassy feel to it. I mean, when I first played this, it sounded more sort of, it had more depth and more bass, I would say, almost than a classical guitar, which I normally play. Suddenly, if you're strumming sort of chords on it, it's very, very bassy. We'll just strum a few chords. There's quite a depth to that sound, isn't there? At the same time, if you're playing sort of the top E string, it's not that bright. It's again a mellow sound. You can get a lovely sustain to it. It's well balanced, although I would say it's more at the deep end sounding, definitely. The intonation is perfect. As you go up the ukulele, there's no problem. The action is pretty low, so it's nice and easy to play, but it's a pretty loud ukulele as well. Sometimes putting the action a bit too low can affect the sound, but it's got a low action, but still nice and loud. It's got the traditional way of putting the strings in, so you're just tying a knot there. Like I say, if you saw this sort of hanging up on the wall, it wouldn't be the first one that grabbed your attention particularly. But it's a real quality instrument. I mean, to get a solid Acacia ukulele for £350 at the moment that sounds as good as this, I'd say that's pretty impressive. It's got a pretty good range on it as well. I mean, the first piece that I played on purpose because it goes up the neck a fair bit. But also, it's got a nice mellow sound here. But then when we come back here, there's quite a nice range going towards the bridge. So you can get quite a few different sounds out of this. Yeah, I must admit, I'm really, really impressed with this Pono. Pono sort of just sit quietly in the background and sort of get on with it without sort of, you know, they don't advertise that much, they're not in your face. They're just a really, really pleasant ukulele to play. You know, I would happily have this, I must admit. I think what I'll do, I'll play us out with another little piece and you can have another little listen to it. There you go, what a nice ukulele. Certainly for that price, I think you're getting a lot of ukulele for your buck. So there we have it, the Pono AB Baritone. And if you've learned nothing else, you now know that Barry is short for Barry Manilow because he invented it probably somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and to ring that bell. Take care now, bye.